following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness, Last Orders, the podcast where we look back into the films our Hallmark favourite actors and directors would rather forget that they were ever involved with. I'm Joe, and with me as always are my co-hosts. I forgot to write something for this bit here. Christ.
He's just been busy twizzling something with an electric bread knife. It's Joe Higgins.
Hey. Christ.
And I've just been thinking of the Alamo all week.
There we
it's
go. That'll do then. And also, James is here, riding his motorbike 4 inches and then getting off it.
That'll do.
Completely forgot that was my responsibility. I do apologise. If you want to follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, and we're on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark Greatness, and there is an email at Hallmark of Greatness, possibly. Also, if you want to send special get well soon cards to Anthony, he's got bad style COVID, like he's having difficulty breathing.
Oh no!
So I'm like, and you're living on your own? Great. So he might die.
So ring me every hour. Give me 3 bells. Let me know you're all right.
Yeah, he just said like I'm having real trouble with it, and I was like, okay. So yeah, we might have to get a new host.
We dedicate this podcast to him.
To the memory,
obviously not the entire podcast.
Because it gets dark. To the memory of Anthony, even though he's still alive. Just remembering him as he was when his lungs worked.
The last one to catch COVID.
No, Craig's still not had it, but he went to Euro Disney. Oh, have you? Well, there you go.
Oh, well.
That I know of.
It's a competition then, so you can survive longest, like Takeshi's Castle. Who will get their paper ring moistened first?
Stop.
Christ. This week's film. It was Deadly Cyberbully, or also known as Murder in the Vineyard, and murder.
It takes it down. Whatever parts of the scoring mechanism. Fabio, that was it. I'm not doing well this week. I think we're all just tired. But every title that it's got, it knocks it down 1 point.
I mean, this has got so many titles. It goes by many names. Yeah. And my phone wanted to keep correcting it to Murder Up the Vineyard, which is a lot more fun. James, your synopsis for Deadly Cyberbully / Murder Up the Vineyard.
Murder in the Vineyard, Deadly Cyberbully 2020. When a murder in a vineyard happens, murdered people in and adjacent to the vineyard are shocked. Who was murdered in the vineyard? Who done that murder? Was it a murderer? Why in a vineyard? Several people attempt to find the answers to these questions, and in the process find out that no more murders then happen in the vineyard for the foreseeable future. More pertinent than the actual plot, wasn't it?
Who done that? Did you done that? Yeah. Oh, mate. I'm not even going to ask you, Barney.
No.
Unless you've got something good, because it does look like the Murder in the Vineyard poster looks like a horror poster.
No.
It's 2 women looking all creepy around that side of a shed while a dude stood off in the background. And it looks like a sort of Children of the Corn thing. It could not be further from that.
I assumed that it was originally called Murder in the Vineyard, and then they changed it to Deadly Cyberbully to minimize that side of it. But it looks like it was sort of like flipped to that to appeal to like a certain demographic.
That in Britain. It was only called Deadly Cyberbully in Britain.
That's because we know there was no murder in no vineyard.
There was murder in the vineyard everywhere else in the world, and then Deadly Cyberbully here. And in France, it was known as Nouveau Lycée, Nouveau Danger, which I believe means new life, new danger. Yeah. No! But it had at least 4 different names, which means it's already 4 Fabio body parts missing. Christ. Let's get into this. The actual synopsis, by the way, sorry.
Go on.
A woman tries to protect her teenage daughter when she becomes a target of anonymous bullies. Does she?
Anonymous?
Does she?
Are they?
Not that anonymous, no.
No. I'm just going to come out. Fuck. This is not a film we should have done.
This film made me very angry.
I was angry at the end of it.
It was everything I expected and less.
Everything seemed to happen in the last 10 minutes.
I was so stressed by this film because it was like 3 weeks earlier, and then everything went at such a rushing pace. I was like, it's going to be up before you know it. It's going to be 3 weeks because there's so much plot.
Oh, Right, well, it opens and we get lovely, lovely tracking shots of a vineyard. And I was like, oh, great, it's going to be like California Christmas or another one of the ones that's set in a vineyard. But then, no, we get that Transformers noise, don't we? Like the foghorn. Yeah. And it's
running.
a woman being chased through a vineyard.
And then the nice vineyard again.
Yep.
And then it cuts back, and then it's foggy out in the vineyard.
Fog. It reminds me of that Peppa Pig episode. What do you do when it's foggy? I just shout fog.
And there's this woman running through a field, running through this vineyard, who then gets caught and dragged to the ground. And then it goes,
she'd been murdered.
and then it goes 3 weeks earlier. Now, my point here is this scene never happens.
Yeah.
He never chases her through a vineyard on her own.
No.
Later on, her mum's there, but at no point. So it's not 3 weeks earlier because this never happened.
3 weeks in a completely different time.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's like the multiverse. I don't know.
Yeah.
3 weeks earlier.
A woman,
More shots
Emma,
of a
gets out
vineyard.
of bed all pleased, which never happens. No one's ever got out of bed that pleased.
And she's walking through the vineyard with non-Union AC Slater / Colonel Sanders / Mario Lopez. She sold her business in the city and has moved back to sell biodynamic wine. Is that a thing?
It is.
Be on The
because
Apprentice.
We've had some Quaff, one of their Christmas wine tastings. Somebody talked my ear off about how biodynamic it was.
Did you feel biodynamic afterwards?
I felt sort of bionic afterwards. I think that was just me.
You do that whenever you jumped anywhere.
I don't know. I did look into it, and I think everybody is very split on whether it's like
Actual thing.
Well, it's sort of like it's partly bullshit, and then it's partly just taking greater care over the vines. So
Right.
I think
So
it's
they don't die. Well, I mean, I don't think her mum cares what she drinks because she gets through some wine in this film, doesn't she? Jesus.
I have a question about the mum and the daughter because they look the same age.
I've literally got, that's her mum. Did she have her when she was in utero herself?
I was like, they've not even tried to make
Like
it.
a weird Ripley's Believe It or Not. I believe there is an 8-year difference between the actresses. One was born in 1984, I think. And yeah, anyway, it's not good casting, really isn't.
Before it even gets to the daughter, though, this man tells her that her granddad planted the vines in 1976. But you ought to be a granddad then. Hang on.
Mate, this family must have that Benjamin Button thing or something.
And he's also got a bit of a random pipe in his hand, which distracted me.
I thought it was him.
Yeah, I did as well, because he was
Yeah.
creeping about in the garage as well. But yeah, anyway, he did look like Colonel Sanders, didn't he?
He had a Mario
But,
Lopez vibe about him. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I didn't want to, it's her first day at this new school, but she called Beatrice, or B, as her friends call her. Well, her two friends who quickly abandoned her.
Hey, you can call me B. Everyone else does. Who knows you? Nobody knows you.
People in the city.
They don't care. Nobody
and
cares.
It turns out that she's a clever girl, and she's going to be doing advanced chemistry with the seniors.
No, biology.
Biology.
Can we just cut
is
back to that thing where they're traveling over to the school and there's somebody on the radio talking about all the high school cougars, and they turn it off, and I'm like, why was that ever dialogue?
Oh,
I don't blame them for turning
very,
it off. But...
very strange Foley and music choices all the way through this. It clearly was a lot of people's bands sent in demo tapes to get on to the soundtrack of
Well,
this film.
yes.
No, do you know what it was? Have you ever watched Made in Chelsea or like Love is Blind or something where they do these stupid songs over the top of everything? That's what it felt like I was watching.
Ah, okay. I haven't watched those because, yeah. But and she gets paired up with Chloe, who is on the Pep Squad.
She gets paired up with Chloe by Tracy, who is a woman who is connected to the school but has no official title.
Yep.
I thought it was the
One
principal.
of them.
No. Principal Brown. We meet later. She goes,
Yeah.
"You know me, Emma. You used to go to school here 2 years ago." Yeah, so she's with because I had to ask people because I looked up Pep Squad and it just said cheerleading, not cheerleading.
Yeah.
That's different.
Maybe one of them's on a chair, like those.
It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like a bar mitzvah, no. And apparently cheerleading and pep squad are different somehow, but it wasn't fully explained to me how.
Does one of them do like the music and the other one does all the
No, that's
dance?
bad. I think cheerleaders are normally associated with a sport, and pep squad are just generically cheery
About everything.
about everything. Sausages, corrugated iron. They
Yes.
fucking love it, mate. Like the
S.A.
yeah, Jeremy
OS.
Beadle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, this is the cool school. It's more about sports here than academia. Oh look, there's some lads trying to play football who's clearly never
so
kicked
badly.
a football before. Me and James, I'm not a sports guy. I'm fairly sure you're not either. In terms of playing
You are
sports,
correct.
yes. I could have kicked all their asses of football.
Well, they clearly don't know what they're doing, but they've never seen a ball before in their life because it automatically lands next to her.
No, because Brian was supposed to block it. You know, that
Yeah.
well-known football phrase, blocking.
Oh, they do. They deploy some very stilted language about football in this.
But it's a sports school, and they want to win state because again, that's
Well,
another thing that schools always want to do. In
Is
it,
that them regionals?
I think it is regionals and then state, and then there's a lot of football talk. And Brian is like, "Yeah, cool, B. I'll see you around." And then he goes back. There's more football bollocks. And is he Mac?
Yeah, Max there.
And he's like, "Why were you talking to her?"
Yeah. He reminded me of somebody. He reminded me of Jean-Ralphio from Parks and Rec.
He had a look of a lot of people about him, and I couldn't pin it. Yeah, Jean-Ralphio's a good stab.
He's just Jean-Ralphio in mind throughout it. Anyway, he sort of natters to him about this girl that he's just met. He says she's inherited the old Reyes estate and goes on. And I was just thinking, this is not what men do. It's like,
No.
all right.
Yeah, who was that? I don't know, but
Got a ball.
isn't it? Yeah. But Brian's girlfriend, April,
Yes.
sees this and he's like, this ain't happening. Because
Understandable.
they're 17, 18 years old, and I guess everything's that important at that point. And the mum, Emma, is like walking around.
Yeah, so it cuts to them in town. B goes to the local shop, Earth Baby Flowers.
Is this where she's sniffing stuff and he's taking pictures?
Someone's taking pictures, and I'm
And
like,
he's taking pictures of her doing the same stuff over and over
Yeah,
again. Sniff that flower again, B.
excuse me, you sniff it, you buy it. That's the flower. That's the florist's code, isn't it?
She sniffs
Yeah,
a candle as well.
Sniffs candles, succulents, all sorts of stuff.
That's
Whatever Baby
renowned
has.
for their smell. Yeah.
I've never sniffed a succulent before.
Oh, you've never lived. With your hay fever, I wouldn't recommend
Oh
it.
no.
But Emma ends up talking to Luke. who I've got-
Non-union Andrew Lincoln I've got.
That's possibly it. I spent the entire film going, he looks like someone. And it's like if
I did that with a detective as well.
Russell Brand had a wasting disease. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get that as well.
I've just got Beardy Boy. That's how I referred to him all the way through. And then there's spooky music and photos. Click, click, that thing going on. And I'm like, God almighty, this is taking forever to get anywhere. Luke and Emma used to date.
Oh, there's so much plot at this point. They're just like cramming
Right,
it
is
down in
Luke
there.
the PE teacher?
Yes.
Yeah.
With the
Right.
beard that looks like your man from Walking Dead or Russell Brand or any
Really
thin white
easy.
man with a tight beard. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they hug and do weird, awkward faces for what I felt was half a Jimmy Bennett sketch.
It was that unit of time. It's one Jimmy Bennett. Oh, come on.
It was. They do sort of like uncomfortable faces afterwards. Like, should
Yeah.
we have hugged? And it turns out they were into one another at some point. It feels very Hallmark at this point. They used to be lovers, but then he went off to be a soccer player, bust his knee, and got depressed. Meanwhile, she went big into big tech, despite having none of the lifestyle traits of that at all.
Nope.
And her partner at the time was called Jack, and is never mentioned again.
Nope. I think I've got a bit where it says I can see why your husband left, but yeah.
Right.
But yeah, he bust his knee out, and she moved back from the city to take over her family's vineyard that she was very quick to abandon. And I'm fairly sure, like, you can't just grow grapes again. Like, you've got to put work
Well, she
in, haven't you?
pops out a Pinot Noir later.
Oh, yeah.
No. And
But
then
there's also a weird man hanging outside a shop who's considering a magazine called Palisades. And it
shut
turns
up,
out
it's not.
it is. Don't know what that's about.
I want to.
Fences.
It's about fortifications, mate.
And
Clues in the
yeah,
name.
they chat about that. Apparently, all the local winemakers hate her. like those stupid adverts that keep popping up. They're never mentioned again either.
No,
But
again.
that's like a possible angle, isn't it? I thought that's why they might have gone with the murder in the vineyard before I realised there was no murder in the vineyard anyway.
Yeah, false advertising. That's why they went with Deadly Cyberbully.
But it kind of opens up, if they change the name to that, it could be like, oh.
It could be anyone. It's the internet, isn't it? It could be someone in Hong Kong or anywhere else in the world. I don't know why I picked Hong Kong.
I know,
Just
it
the
didn't
first
really lead
place
to anything. That,
Just
did
the
it?
first place that came to mind, just because, sorry, I was listening to a song before. Anyway.
Triads. Yeah, could be. Who knows?
Tryhards. And then I don't know, the next bit I've got is the mum's at home and Beatrice is at school trying to have a dump and someone keeps knocking on the door.
Oh, well, you missed the bit that Luke invites her out to dinner next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, next week, which becomes next Wednesday, which becomes tomorrow. And I was thinking, well,
And
it's
by
going to be
dinner,
like
he
20
means-
minutes if you hang
Dinner, he
around.
means 4 bottles of red wine.
Yeah,
it's
so all
probably
that's
great.
going on.
But
Mate.
when it's flashing back between B having a poo and mum in the house, what's mum doing?
Just
She
pottering.
hears something, didn't she? I don't
She's
know
doing-
what she's doing before that.
She's doing
She's working
vineyard
from
stuff,
home.
mate. Yeah.
Right, and then it just keeps going back to this rattly door, and they're going, I'm in here.
Someone in here. And I'm like, whistle. You don't want to use your voice because then they'll know someone's having a poo in there. You just got to whistle or do a series of clicks like that one from Wacky Races. Yeah.
Depends if she's put a landing pad down.
Yeah, true. Some splash zone. Yeah, and then it just stops and goes away. And I was like, oh man, it's great. It's going to be like a spooky ghost killing or something. That'll be fun. Like, of all the grapes that have been killed, have formed together to make like a grape monster. That'd have been better. No.
Great
Just
monster.
imagine-
No, didn't do that either.
Do you remember the story about the boy in the banana costume and the newsreader went to interview him dressed as a bunch of grapes?
No.
Oh,
She
sorry,
didn't
that's
dream this.
She is on wine and anti-allergy medication, so
No, it's true.
There was
go
a
on,
spider
fill us
baby.
in.
Anyway, I thought that would have been like the ghost, like an old man
Oh.
dressed as some grapes. Sorry, that was the link there.
Hey, got any grapes? And she goes into the garage, and it's this AC
Juan.
Slater, Juan,
Yeah.
AC Slater. He does look like he was fixing a generator.
Yes. I don't know why a house has a backup generator.
It's in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? I guess so.
It's quite a prosperous town. I mean, we haven't really touched upon the fact that the town is really like, it's California, so it's Paso Robles, which is it's a slight alteration of a real place in California
Yes.
called Paso Robles. It just means the Oaks.
Yes.
They've changed it to the Oak. Big wine town. That school looks palatial as well.
Yeah.
It's a fancy town.
Well,
People got money.
they're all vineyard people, and it's all sports, isn't it?
They
So
haven't
they'll be
got
getting.
they don't need to repair the generator. They don't need like a chest freezer in the garage or anything like that. They're minted.
No, but I think it's because it's so far out of the way. Like the power might get taken down by like avocados or bears, possibly.
Well, anyway, he's got a legitimate reason for being back there, despite not having knocked on the door. Just
I think he's just
teleported
like
into the
I think
garage.
he's like the handyman, isn't he?
Mm.
So he just sort of
got a
potters
key.
around.
Just imagine him lay in bed and goes, something's broken. The generator. I must go like Batman, but with bits of tech.
But with a wrench.
Yeah.
Oh, we've missed the point as well where B and Brian are sat next to each other in chemistry class, which further annoys April for
Yeah,
some
I
reason.
didn't like the biology teacher as well. She had a massive chip on her shoulder because she straight up asks, "Who the fuck are you?" to the new student in class.
Yeah.
I'm Miss Brody, but I don't know who you are.
Well, you're not doing your job properly then, are you?
Well,
Maybe.
we've done that because that's where she goes, my name's B. That's what they call
No,
me.
I'm saying we missed that bit, but that's where
Oh,
my name is
That's
B.
because it's irrelevant. It's
You can
all
rap
irrelevant.
with me. No, but this is where April's thingy happens again.
Yeah, B is assigned to be Brian's lab partner. So
Yes.
they'll be dissecting rodents and badgers and whatever.
They're paired
Romantic.
up in biology as well, and April forbids Brian from hanging out with her, even though it's for school. And Brian then goes, you know what? Fuck you. As my point here is, right, as the head of the cheerleading thing, surely she should be like the most attractive girl. And she isn't really, is she? She's got a bit of like a squash face going on.
I don't
I'm no
wanna know.
oil painting, but traditionally in these things, the head cheerleader is the most attractive, popular one. In this, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like she's just like, The lass from the pep squad was more fun. I don't know.
I don't know. Age in this place is very variable.
Yeah, true.
Oh, all those football players look at least 27. Yeah.
Jean-Ralphio is like,
Jean-Ralphio.
at least in cynicism, he's about 40. He asks if he could do sloppy seconds on April after Brian dumps
Yeah.
it. I was very uncomfortable after that.
Again, it had whiffs of breaking legs. Yeah, like it was written for younger people, but they couldn't do that, so they got older people in because of the alluded ketamine.
And then Emma's on a date with Luke.
Emma's on a date
Right
with
after
Luke.
that,
Yep.
gets all philosophical about a bad slide tackle that happened in his past, which I thought was funny.
Other
What
sports
football
terms.
terminology do we know?
Goal, kick, sport, goal! And B is texting with Brian while somebody's taking pictures of her from outside her house. Emma notices and runs after him, going, "Come back here!" And he doesn't, obviously.
He also says something about how life throws you curveballs, and I thought that's the wrong sport.
Yeah, it should be. Sometimes life makes you take corners.
Go get me a corner flag.
Not all free kicks.
Emma and B go back home when the snapping starts, and B asks if Brian can come over to do the biology study thing.
Yes.
And I was so bored that I was just looking at it's like a show home house that they've got.
Oh, yeah, it's your classic Hallmark. We've got to film 8 films in this, worry it up, yeah.
And my favourite thing, as you must know from endless amounts of these podcasts, is that there's a sign in the background that just says, "Eat."
Has it got an arrow pointing to a giant salad?
It probably does.
Oh, I see.
No, she doesn't eat salad, does she? She just drinks wine.
All she exists on.
That's all she has.
Lives off the land, literally.
She was able to take over that vineyard. It wasn't good for her. Closer to the source.
And then, like, April is taking pictures of Beatrice at school and putting them on this website.
Yeah, they've made their website. Did anybody Google the website?
I didn't. It was called Buzzy Bee or something?
Busy Bee.
Is it a real thing?
Busybee.com. Well, actually, it is a real thing. And they had to change it so that the busy had 2 Y's in it to stop it being some realtor site in California. So, yeah, odd coincidence. Anyway.
I did like the fact that we got ethnically diverse bullying, though.
Oh, yeah.
We had a white girl, we had a black girl, we had a ginge. So that was fun.
And they were all psychopaths.
Yeah. But, God, I hate this. Why is there so much background music going on? If they don't play Hunters one night, I'm going to be furious.
One friend suggests...
If you watch just a bit of Love is Blind, that's the music that runs throughout it.
It just felt very much
it's
like...
awful.
Yeah.
One friend suggests
American thing.
sharing out a phone number because that would be fun. And then one other girl urges caution and says, "Remember what happened last time."
Yes. To which April goes, "That won't happen again."
I thought that this bullying needs to start out lower. It needs to be a lower key of bullying.
They went pretty much balls out straight in, didn't they, really? Like, putting pictures of her saying, "I've just done the entire football team," or something, I think it said, one of the captions.
Yeah, there's like this ongoing theme of her sleeping with footballers. Soccer players, sorry.
Gotcha.
So this is American high school, and it always seems like the bullying is top notch. It's not low level. You know, in these films and stuff, it's never just low level stuff. It's always
the carry bucket of pig's blood, isn't it? It's
that's why you get into a private school and pass a Robler. Higher standard of bullying.
She does just get punched in the back of the head later on, which is like low level bullying. In no way do we condone bullying, but in this film, I kind of wanted her to die.
It's study night then. Time moves so quickly in this film. It's weird.
You only got 3 weeks.
Study night. Do you know what they do? How do they study biology? Anyone?
Colouring in.
Yes. They're colouring in a picture of well, I thought it was an owl, but then it turned out to be a cell.
I think it was a cell, yeah.
It's always a cell. Do you not remember Sabrina? It was always the mitosis is.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
And other such things we learned from science.
Yeah, things I've never needed to know since I didn't go into cell things. I think before also while this is happening, Emma and Luke go for a walk through the vineyards and have a snog.
Yeah, Luke turns out to be Brian's coach as well. And
yes.
He says he's been working on his speed. And I thought, you don't know what football is, do you?
No.
You don't have a problem with speed in football. You don't think, oh shit, I'm going too fast, I've got to slow down. No.
He does have a problem with speed because that scene comes up later on when they're on the running track.
Yep, that's true. Yeah.
You're not in a running track in football.
They're on a running track later on.
And they do a lot of running, long distance running.
Only part of the film I enjoyed.
It's the running. I like the bit where he made him do press ups because that's what you need in football, isn't it? Strong arms. Brian and B are also talking to each other. Brian's dad is in criminal jail, as opposed
He's in criminal prison.
He's in criminal prison, but only for white collar crimes. So
Good,
that's all
good
right.
crime.
Yeah, that's the middle class crime, isn't it? But his parents are getting a divorce. And B says that her dad divorced her mum and remarried and has a new family and doesn't see them anymore. And I was like, understandable, your mum's a fucking nightmare, mate. Her poo's proper green every day.
Thanks for that image.
3 bottles of red wine a day? Come on.
Yeah. Brian asks her out after the game as well, which turns out to be a very busy social occasion in the end. This is a party as well, isn't there? Anyway.
That was the other thing on the site as well. Is it Emma, her friend? No, not Emma.
There's Reese and
Chloe.
The other one. Yeah.
Chloe comes over and says, we found this website and it says you've got venereal disease. And then they go, you haven't, have you? And she goes, no.
Is this where they say there's a website about you? Don't look at it. But it's really weird, but don't look at it.
Yeah,
you won't like it. Don't look at it.
I really liked it because B was like, but it said that I had venereal disease.
Everything on the internet
it's such a flat tone.
She's not a great actress, to be fair. Emma finds out about this. It goes in to speak to the head teacher, principal, Mrs. Brown's boys. And Mrs. Brown goes, yeah, this has happened before. And I'm like, and you did nothing about that then either? And she was like, nope.
Yeah, this is where I started to get angry.
Brian turns up to comfort B, and he's even gone to the trouble of undoing his top shirt button because he's a bit of a tease.
He is.
And someone's driving a tuk-tuk in the background, which I thought was nice.
He stands by her and says, I don't believe that you've got venereal disease. And she goes, cheers, Brian. Maybe I'll show you one day that I don't. The first football soccer game happens.
Oh, hang on, because they kiss. They kiss in front of the football field, and somebody again is taking photos of her. Don't know how she doesn't spot this man all day, 20 yards behind her taking photos.
Yeah, because I have a point about this later on.
He gets this one framed and then caresses it.
He does do a long hand, doesn't he? They touched hands as well when they were doing the colouring in. They touch hands, but then they have a snog, so the touch hands thing is well off the table at this point. What is a pep squad? They go to the football game. And
they go to the game.
She's
invited.
The game is over. The game is over when she gets there, and they're invited. She's invited to a party afterwards. Emma's like, "Oh, I don't really want you to go," and she's like, "No, trust me, I'm not going to drink. I'm a good girl." And she goes, "No, you are a good girl, and you've never before given me any indication that you're going to go and get leathered." And she's like, "Right, remember that for like 12 hours time." She goes to this party and they're all drinking.
It's got
Brian says he won't
like...
leave her.
Brian says he won't leave, stay by her side.
It's got
as soon as he gets there.
He's off.
He abandons. The rest of the jocks take him away. And Big Mac gives her a red Solo cup and says, "Oh, it's cranberry juice." She drinks it. She drinks a mouthful and then pulls her face because it's horrible. Stop drinking it.
No,
well,
she
only needed
2
one
more
sip.
swig just to.
Well, she said it tasted horrible.
Oh, this is very suspicious. This. Oh yes, I must have some
more. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that she ought to have been a little bit more cautious by the fact that she's gone to a party at a place where there's a out-of-season Christmas wreath on the door, or possibly it's a life buoy, or possibly a life buoy.
It's a nautical themed house.
It's not the best wreath on the estate, though. Did you see the moss one? Was it on Brian's house? He's got like a moss.
No, I must have missed that.
I was like,
oh, that's what. Yeah, this one. Maybe they just had
rabbit.
the one. Reuse it. Oh, we've got to get that in another scene.
It just looked
My
like
wife makes
$5.99
these
on that.
wreaths, and it'll do good for her advertising. Marjorie's wreaths. So she's given this thing. She's talking to the other 2 girls who were the bullies.
Yeah, the mean girls, Beth and Jenny.
And they're like, "Oh, you're so pretty," and stuff. And she's like,
Buzz,
"Okay."
buzz.
And she's like, "Okay, this is weird." And then it turns out they've roofied her. They've given her a fuck ton of ketamine. They drag her into a bedroom where, for some reason, April is wearing cat ears.
My daughter wears cat ears often, so you know.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a 3-year-old child. My other argument here was: is there something wrong with the water supply in this town? Because they're 18 years old, they're drinking alcohol, and yet their schoolwork is colouring in.
Well, I've got a theory about that because Brian said that he needed to partner up because he was falling behind in biology and he needed to
Going out of the
get her
lines,
help.
that sort of stuff.
He must have been very far behind.
Doing it all in crayon.
He's only allowed the scissors that don't actually cut, the safety scissors.
Foldy scissors. And then like B has these sort of weird flash memory things. There's a lot of flashing in this, a lot of like smash cuts to stuff. It's like a freaking Savage Garden video. She wakes up in bed the next morning, all hungover. She's like, I feel like shit. And her mum comes in and goes, "You're a disgrace." And she says, literally, what? I had 2 drinks of a funny tasting glass of thingy. And she was like, no daughter of mine's getting pissed on 2 mouthfuls of cranberry juice. Look, I've just had 8 cans of cider and it's only 2 in the afternoon. And but she's like, she doesn't believe her. And I'm like, that's your only daughter. You've got a fairly good sort of bond with her. You wouldn't believe her story of like, oh, maybe I was drugged. No.
Yeah, she's got bruising on her wrists and abdomen as well.
She doesn't tell her mum this. It's only when she goes to have a shower, she's like, ugh. And then the big bruise on her side.
She's clothed and I'm sure she's got pajamas or something. So she must have been changed.
Exactly. And bruises like that come up quick. Yeah. Her mum's like, just a bad parent at this point. I'm sorry. And then, like, she finds these bruises, and then, like, this was the weirdest bit. She goes to bed the next night, and then someone breaks in, like, takes her duvet off, and just takes pictures of her, like, her pajamas, and then, like, her, like, groin region, then puts the duvet back, and is like, mission accomplished.
Yeah, it's very, very weird. Emma and Luke also, meanwhile, demolished 3 bottles of wine.
3 bottles of wine!
Well,
that was just
talking
her.
about
Luke
how
was only allowed 1 glass.
well, like pontificating about how bad her daughter is with alcohol.
Yeah. She should have gone in. I go, I can see why Dad left. I've learned everything from you, Mother.
Brian turns up at one point. B turns up at one point. Turns out she's grounded till Monday, and that's when the random lurker slips into the house, peels back the covers to take photos, and stand there for quite a while, for I'd say a quarter of a Jimmy Bennett at least.
Quarter of a Jimmy. I sentence you to 8 Jimmy Bennetts. Oh, go!
At least if he was like walking, but it was just on that frame. That's what he was like.
I just didn't get what this was for. Is it just to show that he could do it?
No, the photo of that turns up on the hacked version of the website later on.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
So, the next day at school, everyone's looking at her weird, and it turns
the
out...
pajamas were shit.
No, it's not the pajamas. It's because they put, when she was drugged, all the football players took pictures with her, and it's implied that they all like had a go at her or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
if they did do more,
dark. Yeah.
If they did more than that, then they don't get anywhere near the amount of justice that they should have done.
No,
and if they didn't do anything, then why is like if they took pictures with her? That's.
I think she's got a top off. I think she's got a bra on in the picture.
Yeah, you see, that's fucked up.
But that's not. Again, that's still mental. Yeah, that's still not cool. If she was just passed out and you were drawing cocks on her head, that's a different story. That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not me. It's not.
Not with ketamine though.
No, but she could have just been drunk. Like only Matt knew that she'd been.
Yeah, exactly.
Poisoned. So, in theory, the other ones could have just been having a laugh. I'm not excusing it by any stretch of the imagination. If a young lady's passed out drunk, you don't do anything.
I'm going to say, you sound like the cop.
Well, no, if I was the cop, I'd be like, none of this matters. Sports is what matters. My legs don't work. Yeah. And so everyone's like being weird to her at school. Even her 2 friends, Chloe and the other one, are like, yeah, we don't want to talk to you either because association and all this. And I'm like, some friends you were for the 3 days I've known you. This all's escalated very quickly as well.
Brian's still all right to her though. He's the only one that believes that she got roofied, and
well, he says like they dragged me away, and she's like, yeah, but you said you wouldn't leave, and you did at the first available opportunity. And he's like, yeah, I did, didn't I? Sorry about that. And she's like, nope.
And then does she come outside of school now?
Yeah, she goes back to tell her mum that she was spiked and has abdomen bruises, and tells her about the photos that the soccer team.
No, before that.
When's the bit when she comes out and he's sat on the bench?
Before that, I could literally be playing Elden Ring now. And then, why? Who is this man sat on the bench? Why is his chin so long?
That's it, and he just kept going, shh.
But his chin was like Jimmy Hill. It was fucking huge.
See, that
like
put me off because I was then looking for somebody with a massive chin.
That's what I was doing. Who was he then?
It was a prosthetic chin. Yeah.
The best disguise is your chin. It would work for us because we've got a very distinctive piggy.
I'll have to cover up all of them though. It would take so much latex.
But he's going shh, and then she's having flashbacks to the night.
She has flashbacks.
Sexually
so after
dubious.
All the photographs have been taken and stuff, she's left in the room. She comes to, and there's this but it's not the man with the long chin who comes into the room. It's just another guy with a hoodie on, and he's like, I think this was where the implied nastiness was going to happen, because she goes to leave past him, grabs her wrist, throws her on the bed. She boots him in the stones, so well done there, and makes a bid for freedom. What they should have done was checked everyone's nadges the next couple of days, because and she goes home, tells her mum all this, and shows them the picture on the thing, and she's like, right, well, this has got out of hand now. I'm like, it was out of hand at the start. Like, as soon as stuff's on the internet, that's not, no. So they go into school, like the counsellor.
Yeah. Luke as well starts coaching the lads about being real men. And it goes on for a bit. None of it's particularly memorable, but there is a sign in the background that says, "Go fight, win."
That's good advice. Yeah, the counsellor's like, yeah, there's not a lot we can do, unfortunately.
Is that what Tracy is? Is she a counsellor?
I don't know, because she goes into that science lab and he's like, I thought she was a science teacher, but I think she must be a counsellor.
Yeah, well, even Luke is in like a teaching position a bit later on, and there's planets in the background as though he's like moonlighting as a physicist as well.
PE teachers normally got to double down, haven't they?
PE teachers normally teach geography or something really easy.
Yeah, sociology. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. Coach Luke, one of them talks back and he makes him do 30 press-ups. And I'm like, and then he's sort of like, you shouldn't behave like that. You're not men. Real men don't act like that. And I'm like, you're right. Brian's like, yeah, it was shit. And then
he collars, Jean-Ralphio as well, and he says, "Can you try and get those pictures taken down?" And I was like, "Surely the police should be doing that." And then quickly realised that the police are just insane. So they're not competent to do that.
No. So Emma goes to the police. She wants to press charges against the whole soccer team for many, many things, and the policeman goes, "Yeah, I can't be asked." He's like, you see all this paperwork?
Why have they got a globe in the background as well?
Police station, isn't it?
To check the jurisdiction.
He's Interpol. Go on, Barney.
No, this was the bit that really irked me, because I felt like this is why women don't come forward.
Yes.
And they were like glorifying it, almost trying to make it funny. And then that was when I was like, no, I
don't think it was meant to be funny. I think it was meant to be, because this town is a sports town, the sports lads can do whatever they want, which is a very predominant thing in American high schools. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. I know that. We all know that. It's disgraceful. But the fact that the cop should have gone, all right, yeah, I'll look into this. That would have been enough, because then like 2 scenes later, he's 100% on board with it.
Yeah.
All he has to say.
There's a website.
It takes them a long time.
Yeah, there's a website and there's pictures. So usually it's that they don't believe the witness because it's her word against somebody else's. But in this case, there is actual. So it was really frustrating, but then that probably also really does happen.
Yes.
It just made us all angry.
All he would have had to say was, I'll look into that. And it would have made him a much more like sympathetic character. But the fact he went, nah, ain't happening. I was like, well, I hope you get murdered in a vineyard.
Then they go for ice cream. And then Emma and Luke go and drink more booze.
Yeah, Mum's on the keg again. Matt comes in when they're having ice cream and tries to apologise. And Beatrice is like, no, you've done enough. And I was like, At this point, I was like, it's him. This was when it all starts slotting into place now. Yeah, Mum's on the keg again. Brian comes round. He's like, I want to see her. She's like, well, you can't, because I'm drunk. Jason. And then, like, she comes out and is like, I don't want to see you. And it was all this sort of bollocks. And I'm like, I don't care. They're doing the running around the track at school, the football team.
School again.
And I've noticed there's only 6 people on this football team, so it must be 5 aside.
But when they're running on the track with their dress shoes and their big socks, they're running like and then they slow down to talk.
Yes, because he's like, Brian, why won't you talk to me? And he's like, because I know what you've done. And he's like, it was only bants. And I was like, yeah, giving people ketamine's only bants, isn't it, pal?
I've no memory of this scene.
This was literally the best scene. Is this where we get the death threat as well?
Yeah, so the next bit I've got is that B walks up to a locker that says, why won't you die on it? And then there's a note inside that says, busy bee, I'm coming for you. And then it's included, I thought quite considerately, a sachet of salt.
I thought shitloads of cocaine.
I thought it was coke, yeah. And I was like, sweet, I'll get that ketamine off and just like balance it out, innit?
But then does she report it to Mrs. Brown?
She reports it to someone, and they treat it as a biological weapon attack, even though it's only baby milk powder. Like SMA, yeah.
Talcum powder.
Milk baby powder.
I'm
Powder
sure he
baby
said it was.
milk.
I'm sure he said it was baby milk, but it could be baby powder. I could have got confused.
Baby milk. Bosh. Put a bit of that in there.
That's what they cut it with, isn't it? Baby laxatives.
Emma, meanwhile, is planning a gala with a long table and is afraid that only 20 people will attend.
She's
This is
got
the
no
only
wine
business
left.
decision she makes.
Yeah.
Wine left for anybody else. She
AC
topped
Slater's
it
like going,
off.
how long a table should we get? And she was like, 20 people, all on one side, like the Last Supper? No, both sides. Finally, Emma has a word with April and says, look, and April's very apologetic. She's like, it was only meant to be like a bit of fun. It shouldn't have gone on this long. I'm sorry, but I can't speak to you here. I'll talk to you later. And then, dun, 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 she gets a text. I saw you talking to her. Pack it in, or I'll do a murder on you near a vineyard.
She gets her head smashed in
I mean, that was the best bit.
onto a steering wheel.
But not in a vineyard.
Oh, we've also found out at this point as well that there was another girl who was bullied 3 years ago.
Called Rachel.
Who ended up killing herself. And they just covered that up and never mentioned it again.
Oh, Brian finds a spray can in his locker, and then Jean-Ralphio is like, "Oh, it's you, but it's okay." And
Yeah. Classic misdirect by Jean-Ralphio.
Exactly.
Oh, is that the Irish lock or is that later?
This,
Yes.
this is the Irish the Irish key, yeah.
Oh, maybe that is a bit.
No,
later.
it is
It
later
does
on
happen though.
That's later on when he puts
I
the
noted it
ketamine
down.
in his...
The
Oh,
Irish
the
term.
ketamine that's labelled ketamine. Yeah.
She's lay on the bed texting him, and this goes back and forth fucking ages, doesn't
With
it?
her shoes on.
On the bed, dirty cow. You have automatic spelling on your phone now. Stop putting you and two. Just spell it out. It's an iPhone.
Them emojis were not Apple emojis.
No, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit of a misdirect. I want to see you, the letters to see you. May I come to you, you alone? And I thought it was somebody older, just because it was really good on behalf of Mac to do that, because I thought it was a creepy pervert as well, 50 or something.
I thought it was Luke all the way through this for a long time. I loved your mother. I shall have you.
I thought it was
that
Luke.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then Johnny Law on the case. He's out from behind the desk, and he's using his legs for what God intended, striding around, solving crimes. This is where we get the Irish key on the locker. He just bashes it with a rock, puts some ketamine in there. It's labelled ketamine. Closes it. And then, Emma, I think, the cop says, "Oh, why don't you go and speak to Mac? He only lives down there. He'll know." And so she goes down.
I was just going to point out, April has died.
The PE teacher said go and...
Oh, was it the PT? Oh, yeah.
The cop's gone for a nice coffee at this point.
Fucking hell. That long walk with a nice coffee. I'm like, this could have been cut for time.
I just want to explain to the listeners as well that it is this confusing because everything happens at fucking once in this film.
Yeah.
I said it feels like it was directed by somebody with ADHD because it was...
edited by someone with ADHD, yeah. Sorry. Coach Luke says, "Oh, Mac lives 3 doors down. Go and speak to him. He's the one with the wreath on his door."
He's the one with the moss.
And at this point, April has had she's tried to phone Emma, but then the backseat lurker smashes her head into the thing and she dies of an hemorrhage. So that's fun, isn't it? That's the only person that dies in this film, is the person you didn't really think it was going to be. So that's a classic misdirect. She goes into Jean-Ralphio's house. And he's like, "Oh, do you want some water?" And she goes, "Yeah, that would be lovely." And instead of getting it out of a Brita filter out of the kitchen, out of the fridge, or running the tap and having it, he gets a decanter that's been sitting on the side.
Oh, I know. Tepid water.
And then tips it into a mug, not even into a glass. Menace.
That's so he can do the whole, "Oh, look, these aren't drugs I'm putting in
But
your
he didn't
water."
even go, "Look over there." He just went, bonk. And she's like, "Oh, I'm not drinking that." Could be anything. It's probably ketamine. She spills it. Oh, I've spilled it on myself somehow. Can I use your bathroom? and then instead of going to the bathroom, she somehow ends up in his bedroom.
Yep. To the handily placed notepad right next to the door.
But my argument is, most people's bedrooms are upstairs. He says it's just down there and to the right, so she's gone upstairs.
Why not?
Nobody knows how to use a house in this.
Unless she was doing a plop, in which case you don't do those in the downstairs toilets.
Meanwhile, Detective Average has gone to Jean-Ralphio Sr., who tells them that his son has borderline psychosis and hates his new wife. Yeah, and I
He's
thought
also a vet, and he can
He
get
doesn't-
ketamine.
he doesn't betray any signs of borderline psychosis.
No.
He's just an
but
asshole.
Also, he hands him the bottle and he goes, "Yep, that's my ketamine. I should have noticed that's gone missing." I was like, "Should be kept in a locked cupboard, maybe, pal." You know, there
I'm
again.
really bad at my
Irish
job.
G, mate. As much ketamine as you want.
There should have been like a gerbil just like frothing at the mouth in the corner.
You're a terrible vet. His new wife left him because she was scared of Mac because he has borderline personality disorder or something they can blame it on rather than him just being a fucking knobhead. She goes into his bedroom. She has to snoop around. She goes through his drawers, which I was like a bit weird, and finds this notebook that's got 3 photographs of a tied up girl in there. And I don't know who that girl was.
I assumed it was Rachel.
It was another girl because they said
Right.
he's going to show these pictures round later and see who it is.
Was it in a vineyard?
No, it was in the shed.
It's never in the vineyards.
In the shed next to the axe.
If only there was a big rock there, it would have been opened a lot quicker. The worst copper ever.
Kidnapped.
When she sent those messages to
Oh,
who
then
she
she
thought
got-
was
yeah.
Brian, and then Brian's like, "Oh, where's my phone, guys?" And that one guy goes, "I haven't seen your phone." No, sir. I'm like, 12 years at Juilliard.
So is she kidnapped now while Mum's mooching around Matt?
And he says, "Oh, I want to see you. Are you home?" And she goes, "Yes, I are home." And then nothing happens. And then she goes, "Why are you not talking to me?" And he goes, "Oh, sorry, I'd lost my phone." And then she's like, "Dun dun dun, bang, back of the head." Always from behind. He's very like that. The copper just goes to Starbucks, gets a nice frappuccino, walks to his car, puts it on the top of the car, and then I thought he was going to be like, "No," peels off, like, because Emma phones him and goes, "I've got these photographs, it's Mac." And he goes, "Oh, okay." Puts it in his cup holder, like, winds his window down, adjusts his mirror. I'm like,
It does take him bloody ages.
I was like,
To
"You're
the
the
point-
worst policeman. Can I have any other copper?"
There's a continuity error because when she wakes up or whatever happens with the mum, it's dark outside. And then when they escape, it's light outside again.
Okay.
The time moves differently in the shed.
3 weeks. All this has happened in the space of 3 days, 3 hours. It's like there must be around a black hole or something. So yeah, Emma's. Oh, where does
Mum
Emma...
finds her.
Yeah, and the fire axe smashes the lock off because
No.
no one ever takes the time to undo a lock properly.
No, you just bash it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bash
Oh,
it with
he's
the
left
handy axe. Yeah.
He's left a suicide note, and her mum goes to the detective. "It doesn't sound like her," and he goes, "Probably is though." And I'm like, "You are a terrible human being."
His
like
eyes
the
are melting in his coffee.
The laziest cop. It's like any evidence that presents itself, nah. It's always in a shed. She's tied up in there.
Loosely,
Very super loosely.
like with a skipping rope.
The music at this point is wild as well. It's great. She goes in, tries to help her untie her, gets chloroformed from behind, of course, and wakes up tied to a chair in the house with also B in the house as well now. Is she in the house or is she still in the shed?
They've been moved to the vineyard.
Right. Oh, where was the shed then? Was that in his backyard?
The shed was in Max because then they get
Right.
moved to the vineyard and she finds the corkscrew.
Right. Okay. That makes. I'm surprised she's not got a corkscrew on her at all times. Or had one of her fingers replaced with one, like Swiss Army hand. She gets the corkscrew. She cuts herself loose.
She only saw that bottle opener though because it's on a massive box of claret. That's what she was eyeing.
That's what. Yeah. She was. I have got a thirst. She unties her legs by moving them slightly, and all the ropes fall off as if by magic. And then she goes and Jean-Ralphio is strangling Emma, and he's like, "This is the bit I like the most." When
He's not actually touching her, I don't think, though.
apparently from like true crime podcasts and stuff, it takes about 2 minutes of applied pressure to strangle someone properly to death. Otherwise, they'll just like wake up again because, like, you know what I mean?
And she's stood up as well, so it's like your arms would get really tired holding them out for that
Yeah,
long.
it takes a
strangling
tremendous
somebody.
amount of upper body strength. But he was doing all those press ups. Luke's an accomplice.
Does she kick him in the stones again now?
B comes
Stabs
in.
him, I think.
B comes in,
So they're
smashes a bottle over his head.
Oh, that shatters spectacularly.
So she
And
must
Emma-
have finished that bottle first.
It's Dutch courage, mate. How's a fight you? Smashes that over his napper, and Emma goes, "I've got a knife in my back pocket. Cut me free." And I'm like, "I bet it's one of those. I bet it's one of those waiters' friends. So it's got a corkscrew, one of them things for cutting the foil on." Yeah. or it's one of them like Stella Artois knives for scrimming the top of the glass. I just carry it. And so she cuts him free, boots him in the nadgers, and then stabs him. And then they run off through the vineyard while he's...
But it's not the same as the running at the start, because that was just one woman being
Yeah.
chloroformed. Whereas this is two women.
It wasn't through a vineyard. It looked like they'd come out from like between a hedge. The
They
opening...
run into the vineyard, though, don't they?
Yeah, they are running through the vineyard because he's behind with his wound.
And I thought, oh, there's going to be a murder in here.
Nope.
Nope.
It gets very sort of Texas Chainsaw-y with him going, oh, come back. And like B falls over as a woman will always do when being chased. It's like, leave me. And she's like, no, I'll rescue you. I think they drop the knife. He picks up this little sort of, it's not a big blade on it. I mean, it would, yeah. He picks it up and he's going, oh, come back. I'm going to do a stab. The cop finally, like, once he's put his cup in the recycling,
Changed his shoes.
locked it on his Weight Watchers app, pulls up and he's like, no, don't stab him. I've got a gun. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, thanks for doing my job, ladies. I should have believed from the start. I mean, like, you're a cop and they're both white. You think he would have believed them, but here we are. Mac gets put into an ambulance. What are they going to do with him? Oh, well, he's 18. He can be tried as an adult. That's not what I asked.
He'll be going to that blue collar jail. No, white collar jail. Sorry, apologies.
Yeah, he's down to vet, be white collar. And then we smash cut to the big table.
Man, was I glad that I waited.
Oh, man,
There were not 20 people around that table.
No. The grand opening of the winery happens. Luke proposes to Emma and Ryan.
3 days he's known her.
Ryan, yeah, but they've got history. Shared trauma as well, never lasts. And Ryan and B are still together as well. I didn't see if the other friends who abandoned her were there.
I don't think they were, no.
No, just other random people from the town. Not the
They're
cop.
Still
'cause
done
fuck
with
that
it.
guy.
But Brian turns to B and goes, oh, you look so nice. And I was like, ugh, go away.
Yeah, your mate was a stabber murderer.
I was like, where did all this Pinot Noir come from? Because she's not been like doing any of that at the same
That
time,
is just
has she?
Vimto.
I think AC Slater's been doing it, mate.
Yeah.
He's a PE teacher and a chem teacher.
No,
and a
not
physics
him.
teacher. Oh, right.
That's
Juan, master
Juan.
of generators and
Master-
terroir.
Master of generators and wearing a hat.
Because we only saw one, like one.
And that's the end of the film. It's called Murder in the Vineyard, and nobody gets murdered in a vineyard. False advertising. I hated this.
Fucking shit.
To be fair, the starting bit, I was like, this could be quite good. And then as soon as it got to like the sketchy parts, I was like, I don't like this. This is not, it's not fun. It's not a fun film to do jokes about. I mean, I've tried.
It was like a very bleak 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, it was, yeah. One bronze corkscrew finger. Barney?
I don't want to give it anything. I don't want to give it -5.
So a lack of Fabios entirely.
2 bronze Fabio long chins for me, please.
What's the long chin man?
Was he ever there at all? Who knows?
Oh, it could have been a figment of her imagination.
Nope.
I think I'm giving it more.
I think you are.
Because
It wasn't
Jean-Ralphio didn't have a big chin.
Famously.
We've established it was a prosthetic one.
He got slick back hair. 'cause
One
he's
of
a
the
piece of shit.
ponderers from Victory. It's a reference for no one. Right. Oh no, wrong one.
Thank you. Okay, so that was Murder in the Vineyard, also known as Deadly Cyberbully, and a bunch of other things. It came out in 2020, not that long ago, so I've not really seen any of the films on the list for that. There was the Sonic the Hedgehog film, apparently. You should go and see that.
It's on Netflix, pal.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there you go.
It's pretty good, apparently.
That's why you said go and see that as if it's still in the cinemas 2
And
years later.
weirdly, the
I have
voice
to
of
do that now.
Weirdly, the voice of Sonic is Jean-Ralphio.
It's not.
Ben Schwartz, yeah.
Oh, that's
Look
brilliant.
at Jay-Z's face. You've made his day.
He's so happy, honestly. It's like when you show a
love that
dog a
guy.
magic trick, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, it had a lot of montages in this film, and I found out that they were supplied by Pond 5. I looked it up online. Pretty much anything they've got is worth about 48 quid, and you can get top footage of anything that you searched for. So I searched for berry, and it gave me footage of a tram,
Nice.
footage of a squirrel, and footage of a dog getting eye treatment. And the bundle was worth 136 quid.
Ooh.
And then there was a dog with a bag on its head, 48 quid.
I mean, we've got video footage of your cat with a crisp packet on its head. We can just use that.
Yeah, true.
Although
I
I
could
think-
flog that now, couldn't I? Get more money than
No,
that
I don't think you
Bible
want the
ever gave me
copyright.
for
I
it.
think, was it Lad Bible own it now, don't they?
Bastards.
The tram. Bury is the town near the town where I live. And it has a tram system. It does have squirrels. It's not renowned for its dog ophthalmology, though.
Until now. I couldn't get a firm estimate. Well, I could get an estimate about this one because it's what all Lifetime films get, which is about $1.2 million. What?
Well, they rented that vineyard. Surely that would have costed more.
They filmed all those scenes in one day.
Pretty much. It all went to Pond 5, didn't it?
So many montages.
It's incredibly easy. Yeah, just you bang in that, get what you want. So that's about £920,000. So Joe, it's over to you this time. For that, you can get 919 litres of chloroform.
I was hoping you were going to say Pinot Noir then. And I was like, that's money well spent. That'll keep Emma going for like a week and a half.
I think you have to, like, I never really thought about it before. I've never tried to buy chloroform before.
I think you need to do that on on a safe search thing. You're probably going to be monitored now.
No, honestly,
you
I'm
do
doing
need
it
to-
for a podcast.
Ah, yes. The Who excuse, yes.
Listen to it, then that's one more download.
Also, again, listening to true crime podcasts, chloroform doesn't act instantly. You have to press it into their face for like a minute for it to
Yeah,
for it to
I think
work.
that's the thing. That's why vets would use it because yeah.
Yeah, it's like an ether soaked rag, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to
Absolutely.
give professional credentials in order to order it.
Yeah,
I'm assuming you have those, provided you.
I mean, I'm an ordained minister, if that helps.
I mean, 119 litres of chloroform, world's your oyster, mate. So.
How much ketamine can you buy?
On the street,
Just wondering about James's search history now.
you're going to get a knock on the door in a couple of days. It's a lazy cop. It's fine, don't worry about it.
If they didn't get me for that piece of art shaped like the King of Spain or whatever it turned out to be,
The police operate in different worlds where you live.
you could get 9.6 Ashira cats for that. It's the world's most expensive cat. I asked for Katie for suggestions.
No, that's fine.
I don't know how you
Shearer
get
cat,
0.6
is that-
of a cat.
Does it
Look
look
like
like
Alan
Alan Shearer? Because if it does, Barney will have one of them.
I will. And then I'll send one to Darren because he loves Alan Shearer.
Keep it in the cling film.
It's the most prized cat in the world, apparently, and it's a sort of snow leopard. There's a place in Los Angeles that produces just 5 kittens a year. They can reach 1.5 meters in height, which is fucking massive.
That's huge, pal.
And it's being developed through genetic manipulation. So it's a cross between a leopard, an African serval, and a common domestic cat. And yeah, they're worth about $125,000 a piece.
Christ.
So you can get a massive cat for that.
Yeah, I could get 9.6 of them.
Yeah, the front half.
I'll
only.
leave the 0.6. I'll use that for food.
You don't want the bum end.
You
I
can't
don't
have a
know, maybe
massive
Jared.
cat. Imagine you brought a massive cat home. Sam would be fuming. Well, he'd be a bit scared, I think.
Did I tell you about the cat that tried to break in the other day?
No.
Harvey had gone to the gym. I must have been recording with you or someone else. And I got a text, you need to come and let me in. I was like, oh, she's forgot her key again. Right, give me 2 seconds. Oh, why, what are you doing? There's just this cat. She's blocked it with her bag. There's this cat just sat there like, hello. And I was like, you can't come in. You don't live here. And he's like, I do now. Just try to circumvent the bag. And I'm like pushing him out the door. And Sam got down off the couch and it scattered then. Like, but I was like, who is this cat that's chosen us? It was good.
Blessed.
How many
But it
hot
wasn't-
eggs did it have with it?
It wasn't 1.5 meters high.
No, it was a little silver. It was a very pretty cat. It had a collar on, so I'm sure it belonged to someone, but I'm allergic to cats.
We let the cat in, yeah. Bah! This massive cat comes in.
9 of them. Forming together like Ultrazord.
0.6 just lying by the door.
0.6 is the tail.
It's also enough. So your third option is it's enough to buy an outfit. I found out a 29 hectare vineyard in Provence. So that so you could, like, instead of actually spending that money on a shit film about vineyard, you get a vineyard of your own. The offer
How big's a
includes
hectre?
A hectre is 10,000 square
it's
meters.
fucking massive hectare.
Don't know what that is. What is it in football pitch?
It's equivalent to 2,471 acres, if that helps.
See,
No,
I
sorry.
don't know what your frame of reference. Oh, in
2.471.
acres.
All right, hectre in football.
How big is it in Subway sandwiches?
I'm not made of facts.
Hang on, I've got it here. So an international size football pitch is 0.6 hectares by 0.8.
Right.
So it's pretty big.
Yeah. How much Pinot Noir can you make?
And how many?
I just saw
can we get
29
per month?
hectares and I was satisfied.
29.
That
That's
was a lot.
loads.
Yeah.
Why are we
Get
not
lost.
doing that?
Because they
Oh
made
wait,
a
we don't
film.
have the money. I forgot. Yeah. I was all excited. Then I was like, cats, or like a load of wine.
So the offer includes 29 hectares of land, including a stream, some lovely woodland, a limestone massif, I assume that's some sort of local gang, and a tiny troglodyte house. I'll send a picture of that to you now.
I want to meet the limestone sheriff.
Do you get a Juan as well?
You probably do. It probably, yeah, each one.
Provide
comes with
your
a
own
plan.
generator, though.
Yeah, it's got a tiny house in there. It's like a cave dwelling. Yeah, a troglodyte house,
Aw.
which does need doing up. It's,
Yeah, no, that doesn't need doing up at all.
it does. It's got no windows, mate.
Yeah, but it's France, isn't it? It's Provence. It'd be balmy.
So, which are you going to go for? The
I'm gonna
9.6
go-
is your
obviously.
excess?
I mean, I could sacrifice like 2 hectares and get a big cat to patrol around my
Oh,
vineyard.
yeah, that'd be nice.
You see?
And
I'm
then,
never-
you know,
I'm
when it
never
gets
gonna
too
go
far, chloroform it.
I'm never going to go for the chloroform. No. That way,
Like,
man.
your guard cat would fuck off anyway. Like cats
Yeah,
do.
they would. They wouldn't just be like, no, I'm bored now. I'm going to show you my anus and then leave. I'm going to go mostly wine with a cat on top.
Blended like it. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we heard about this film through the last podcast, Win, Lose or Love, which was starred Helena Matson, who played Emma. So that was, yeah. If you want to refer back to that as episode 72, crap film from the sounds of it, but yeah.
It was better than this.
Was that was the one with sports as well, where they
Yeah.
just took
So
over all the
she's
kids'
a-
art stuff?
Yeah.
Sort of a soccer mom in this as well, yeah.
Big typecast.
Soccer adjacent mom, yeah. Director was Craig Goldstein. Just 6 director credits, all thrillers and all usually about social media. So there's one called Instakiller from 2018.
That sounds good.
I don't think it is.
He kills them instantly just by looking like Medusa.
No, you've
I-
oversold it. No, we're going to watch that and it's going to be
No,
crap.
I've been rewatching Fringe, and where the hand comes out and like melts your brain. Nothing will ever compete to that, social media wise.
All right, yeah. Wait, have you not watched the Black Mirror one with the little robot drone bees?
Oh, yeah, that was good.
That's a good social media one.
You should go out and just watch all the Black Mirrors.
Don't do them
No,
all
we
in
don't
one
watch
evening because you'll kill yourself.
Yeah.
Thingy did a social media one as well, didn't she? Plays Arya in Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's called cyberbully, isn't it?
That's what we should have watched.
Yeah, but that's actually
really
good.
Yeah.
Not Deadly Cyberbully.
No, they had to put the deadly on to. Also,
Uh,
it's anyway. Go on. I'm just saying
it was-
it's 3 separate words. Deadly cyber bully, which means it could have been about a robot bully. I've just
I know.
realised.
Would have been way better.
I think that's what I had in my head before I watched it as well. It was written by Anne Richardson, lots of acting chops. She and a lot of people in this were in the TV series All My Children. I don't know why they came together to create this film, but she has 4 writing credits, including Baby Obsession. I don't think she's very good at naming things.
I think she comes up with the title and works backwards, like they did with Scrotal Recall.
B was actually probably the most famous person in this. Emma Thurman starred in Avengers Endgame as Cassie, a Morgan Freeman film called The Magic of Belle Isle, and a horrendous-looking Adam Sandler film called Blended, which I've not seen.
Oh,
Don't want to
Blended's
see.
terrible. Yeah, it's about wine as well, though. So she is getting into those.
Growing up, yeah.
I knew I recognised her from something, but I couldn't think
Yeah,
where.
Cassie, innit? That's where.
Who's Cassie?
Don't know. I think it's just
Ant-Man's daughter, because she's old in
Ah, yes.
old in the last one.
She's still terrible in this.
That's because
Mac,
her mum is 2 years older than her.
she could only do colouring in. Mac was played by Daniel Colvin. He was also on All My Children. All My Children. Lots of TV credits already. Must be the child actor, and he's the star of Smiley Face Killers, also 2020.
Is
and
he
then-
the star of The Man with the Long Chin?
I looked at Juan as well because I thought he would be into some shit, and I was right. He has got the face of somebody that I feel like I recognise, but I couldn't find. I mean, he has got a lot of TV credits. He's in NCIS, so that's the Naval CIS,
Yeah.
and NCIS New Orleans. Will and Grace as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought we were
yeah,
going to get a 3 for then.
No, I was hoping for it as well. But he was also in The Demolitionist, 1995. A murdered police officer is brought back to life by a cold cold-hearted scientist to serve as the demolitionist.
Yes.
The ultimate crime-fighting weapon in a city overrun by criminals and internal corruption.
Yes.
Hell has no fury like a woman transformed.
It's a woman.
Yes.
Oh, girl power. Come on, we're doing that. Surely.
And
The
then there was also-
demolitionist.
Well, you could do that one, or you
Punch
could,
kicker.
you could do Moonbase, which is his film from 1997.
Moonbase.
After a daring prison break, a group of dangerous convicts stow away on a trash disposal pod headed for the moon. Upon their arrival, they encounter a visiting team of soldiers. Let the explosions and karate begin.
Yes! Mention karate.
Explosions and karate. I have a weird feeling I've seen that already. That sounds vaguely familiar, but I may be wrong. I don't remember there being that much karate in it.
Well, it's explosion first, and then karate later.
That's how it works, yeah. You can't have your karate till you've eaten all your explosions.
And thus, James Fact is bashed on the head from behind for another week.
Did we mention her getting her head whacked in the...
Yeah, we did.
Water
She died from an hemorrhage. Yeah.
Are those things actually real, those water fountain things?
Oh, we missed that bit where she got punched on the back of the head.
Oh, I thought we
Yeah.
mentioned that. Oh, yeah,
We
that
did,
happens.
but yeah, that's after, that's towards the end. She's having a drink at a water fountain, and someone just runs past and yeets her up back at her head. It's cracking. Yeah, I think it's after April dies, but yeah. Yes, water fountains are a real thing, like in America.
There was two bits to it as well. So there was a littler fountain for the children. I thought that was quite
Yeah,
good.
then one for grown-ups. One's hot water, one's cold. Put a tea bag in your mouth, swill it round. You've made an instant brew.
Isn't there a
Probably better
Mr.
than
Bean sketch where he does
Yes.
that?
Right. Harut Azaran, just because I like the name Harut,
Harut!
has labelled this crap with a lot of P's on the end. And 5 exclamation marks.
Oh.
What a load of
Harut!
garbage. Terrible acting by everyone. Oh, and the twerp playing the cop. He should get a job in McDonald's or dishwasher in a restaurant.
I mean,
Acting is not for him. And hashtag Helena Matson at her worst. Only herself and God know why she accepted the part in this nauseating codswallop. 0.
Harut, mate.
I wondered why
Hey,
Helena
can't-
trended on Twitter the other day.
Hey, you can't hashtag someone in a review. Sorry, that's not allowed. Why are you bringing God in there? I mean, I'm with you on the cop guy, but he was playing a bad character. I imagine he's very nice. But why you God? Is God her agent? Hashtag
Don't give him any ideas and more hashtags.
Harut. I think it was Terry Pratchett that said any man that uses more than one exclamation point's invalid anyway, isn't it? Real?
Oh yeah, because after dishwasher in a restaurant, he's got another 5. But
He's got a macro.
Codswallop only has 1, so he meant that one. Tom F. Sloan is labelled his
Tommy Sloan, come on.
pointless motive on why the bad person was the bad person. No one believed the girl. The police, her friends, and principal were all jerks. I agree with the other user reviewer about the wooden cop actor. So he has Harut
him
on
and Harut going on a road trip.
But at least he ended up not being an idiot.
I don't think he
Typical
ended up,
stupid
though.
ending. Clobbered in the head with a wine bottle and having basically no ill effect. A real wine bottle would shatter against the skull would be 100% lethal.
All right, T. Sloan knows this somehow.
The corkscrew was somewhat witty, a la Emily Blunt in The Girl on a Train. Entertaining, but tried to ignore the many dumb parts. 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. I want to see Harut and T. Sloan's road trip where they just go around smashing people's heads in with wine bottles.
And making people be dishwashers in McDonald's.
Exclamation mark, bonk.
And then this one is by Trevor Bumburger.
T-bums.
6 out of 10. It's okay. And I don't know what kind of Christmas he was having. Oh, it was a COVID Christmas. 24th of December 2020, he reviewed this.
Christ. He spent his Christmas Eve watching this shite.
It was a sad day at the Bumburger's house.
Mom, can we watch Elf? No, your father's putting this on.
Well, he gave it a 6 out of 10.
Every Christmas we gather round to watch Deadly Cyberbullying.
Oh, are you ready for this?
Right, let me strap myself in for the T-Bumburger Express.
Murder in the Vineyard was an okay movie. Makes you feel mad and sad. The end.
Fucking hell, Bumburger.
But not glad.
and definitely not rad.
Mad anti-God.
I mean,
Can we just do his reviews from now on?
A bit of Bumburger.
Like Kev.
There was only 10 reviews on IMDb.
yeah, it's not.
And then I was so angry at the film, I didn't bother to look elsewhere.
I just like Bumburger's haiku approach to reviews.
It's Christmas Eve, mate. Oh, so watch The Snowman. That's good.
No, he thought there was going to be a murder in a vineyard.
It's not a Christmas murder in a vineyard. There's no.
How do you know there was a wreath?
Yeah, could have been misled
California
by
doesn't. It could have been around Christmas
foam
time.
wreath.
Actually.
The green foam wreath.
Because California is sunny all year round, isn't it? So it could have
Sunshine
been
indoors.
4 years ago today.
You could do a Christmas drinking game where you drink every time they drink. Again.
Oh God, I'd be dead.
Oh, you mean like with Nail and I, where you have to drink what they drink? So halfway through the film, you've got to cane 3 bottles of red wine.
No one could do what Emma did. Cries.
That's what her tech was. That's what she did. It was like a automatic sobering up chip. Hers haywired because it was the prototype, and now she can never get drunk. But it has to be fueled by alcohol, like robots in Futurama. And that was Deadly Cyberbully / No Murders Up the Vineyard. An absolute waste of time. Don't watch this.
Don't watch it.
No. Despite what Bumburger says, stay away.
Unless you watch it on Christmas Eve.
I'm going to watch it on Christmas Eve. Continue the Bumburger traditions. Have you favourite lines from the film?
It said that I have venereal disease.
I don't. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. I'm going to make a random plot generator of my own.